Audio Jungle.
So there will not be any reversal. The Ministry of Education is done its diligent work. This came to FEC, the Federal Executive Council. I was part of FEC at that time, led by our chairman, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The Ministry of Education gave full briefing on this, and we have FEC approval. So there will not be any reversal to the decisions that have been taken. I'll take the first 4 questions and then we'll move on to the next set. Let me begin by profusely thanking the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for the huge honor and privilege that he has given me to come with Honorable Mr. Suwaibat Ahmed to superintend the new ministry, the Ministry of Education. If you all know, the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu campaigned all across the country. And he told Nigerians, I will be honest with you. When I become president, I'll take the difficult decisions. Now, 16 months after President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the president of the country, he's meeting a lot of his campaign promises. More importantly, the promise that the president gave to Nigerians, that I will be honest with you, I will take difficult decisions so that we can put our country on the path of sustainability. Decades from now, a younger generation will look back and say a big thank you to us. This is what this president is doing. We have to be ready, and we should, as Nigerians, take short-term pain for the long-term good. This is where we need to be as a country. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has taken difficult decisions that other leaders that have come before him shied away from. And that's why when we came in as a government, we have a lot of issues that we inherited. But the president has said multiple times, do not pity me. I asked for this job. The president today, we're all grateful to him for taking this difficult and right decision for the sustainability of our country. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has also mandated us ministers that whatever decision we make in terms of policy, execution, it has to be sustainable. He does not want patchwork. He doesn't want palliative policies and implementation. I know Nigerians, things are hard, but please bear with this president. We're beginning to see the fruit of these difficult decisions that our president has taken. Our macroeconomic indicators are better. We're more respected internationally. And the president is focusing our country into the future, where we will have the biggest economy in Africa and one of the biggest economies in the world. And in so doing, that is why the president decided to send me and Honorable Minister of State, Dr. Suwaibat Ahmed, to the Ministry of Education to push forward his renewed open, transformative agenda in the education system, in our education sector. It's a challenge, difficult one, but it's a huge privilege to be asked by the president to take on this difficult work. And we're all ready for it. We will work collaboratively with every one of you, with every Nigerian, to move our education system forward. Now, I'll go to the second question. How do we develop the education system? Now, we have to be honest with ourselves. We need to realign our education to the needs of Nigeria, the needs of our 21st century. We're churning out a lot of unemployable graduates in our country. We have a unique country, very unique, that we need to turn into advantage. A country of 220 million people with a unique demographic of 70% below the age of 30 years. We're uniquely placed to be the biggest creator of workforce for Nigeria and for the world. We will be realigning our education system to meet the needs of Nigeria. How do we do this? We will not focus on STEM. We will aggressively focus on STEM. Science, technology, engineering, and the second M, medical sciences. Today, we get with lack of manpower to service our hospitals, we will focus and redirect our efforts on STEM. We will work with our universities, we will work with our polytechnics to do that. And I'm asking every one of you here, I'll be meeting with our Vice Chancellor and Director. From now on, we will drive our agenda focusing heavily on STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and medicine. I told you, we have a unique population. Young people, young Nigerians that are eager, ready to go to school, very innately intelligent young men and women. We need to provide opportunities for them. What do we do again by providing this opportunity? The second part of what we're going to be doing to realign our education system is we will focus heavily on technical, vocational education and training. We will use our federal technical colleges, national entrepreneurial institutions to develop, create opportunities for our young citizens and young men and women, give them lifelong skills to be useful to themselves, useful to their community, and useful to our nation. And again, help build the world. How do we do this? It won't just be by word of mouth. We will use what I've coined reverse civic parietal. This is what does success in a technical and vocational education and training will mean from now and going into the future. We will heavily focus on practical training. 80% of the education will be on practical training, and 20% will be on a theoretical classroom based. We will engage private sector artisans, where we will incentivize them to take this as students, train them competently in this vocational training. We will introduce stipend for these students, incentivize them to go get this lifelong training so that they can begin to unleash their innate ability to develop our country. We'll also incentivize the trainers. That will be providing the practical education. We would ensure that our technical colleges and these entrepreneurial institutions have adequate infrastructure, equipment, workshop. We will invest heavily on those areas. And as we do this, we'll also partner with the private sector to ensure that jobs are available for these young men and women. We will help them create recruitment center. We will work with our procurement bureau to ensure that our contractors, government contractors, are now requiring to people that we use at those sites to have national technical certification, so that we can create pathway for employment for people we are training. We will train them very well, give them the competence that they need so that they can be beneficial to themselves and to our country. And more importantly, I know we have about 34 or 37 trade and entrepreneurial subjects. The president has been so decisive in moving our energy base from fuel to clean energy. We will introduce CNG, compressed natural gas technical education, where we will start training people to do the retrofitting, the conversion of our cars, of our truck to CNG. We will work with the CNG providers to help train these young men and women. We also start a new training program, renewable energy. We all have solar system in our homes. We need people that will install those solar systems and also maintain them. People shouted that we're hungry, we don't have food. We would go, or we also introduce mechanized farming training for our citizens so that we can begin to give them lifelong skills on how to do mechanized farming. This will now be embedded as part of our technical vocational educational training. As we move into the future as well, all our universities, specialized university of agriculture, will now be mandated to have their own mechanized farming where they can train their students. We will provide resources, funding for our universities of agriculture to have their own mechanized farming. We will help them work with sub-national governments to help them get land, arable land, that they can start planting cash crops, other crops, so that we can begin to also use our education system to supplement food agriculture, food security. All universities of agriculture, all universities that have Department of Agriculture would also be mandated to have their own farming so that they can begin to train people on practical skills. We just don't want people being given HND in agri-economics, BSc and agri without practical training. We will focus on practical training, equip our graduates, equip our citizens with the kind of knowledge that will make them be productive. I'll stop there and I'll take on what we have to do at the basic education about this year, about 18 years mandatory to get to the university. I think part of the issues that led to that was the way our national policy on education was designed. You have the pre-primary education, which is 0 to 4 years, and you have the basic education, 5 to 15 years. And then you have the post-basic education, which is 3 years of SSS. But then, that adds up to, by the time you're finishing your post-basic education, the SSS, to get to university, you would have been 18 years old. But then, there's something called special needs. Special needs education. We know people that have disability, hearing impairment, visual impairment, but then, part of that special needs also are highly talented and gifted students. We need to create opportunity for them. We have to let them excel. These will be the geniuses in our society. They are the ones that will go and be the innovator of what we need. They are the ones that are genetically endowed to move. They're not part of our general society. So we will not be going forward with the 18 years. We will go back to what we had before, 16 years. We will work with JAM and our university to ensure that people that are matriculating into our universities will be around 16 years. There will be exemption for gifted children who can have an earlier part. But the 18-year for going to the university is not part of the education policy again. Now, the out of school children that you asked about. This is the big elephant in the room. We, in Nigeria today, we have the unenviable position of having the highest number of out of school children in the world. Almost 19 to 20 million children, depending on the data that you look at. This is not good for the sustainability of our country. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is very concerned about this, and this is one of the priority areas that we will be working with. The ministry has already developed the Education for Renewal agenda, the work plan, the 2024 work plan on how we will tackle our out of school children. We've created a benchmark and how we will go about it. But what we're going to do as well, we will create incentive to really drive down our out-of-school children. And some of the incentives that we're going to create, we will work with the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs. We'll also look for our own budget to give conditional cash transfer to mothers to send their kids to school. We will have a grading system, the way we will use a lot of technology here. If a child achieves 100% at the enrollment rate every month, we would pay, first of the following month, we'll pay them certain amount of money. If the enrollment rate is between 80 to 90%, 80 to 99%, we'll pay them a certain amount of money. We'll do it in such a sliding scale. 60 to 79%, we'll pay them. So we will use conditional cash transfer to incentivize a mother to get their kids to school. We'll also layer this up with our school nutrition program. We will feed one meal if we're able to do 2 meals for these students when they go to school. We will provide this incentive because we need, at this age, we need to adequately nourish the children for better brain development and for the future to help develop our human capital, human capacity. So that's what we're going to be doing. Out of school children, it's a huge problem that the president really takes very seriously. And he has mandated us on what we have to do. And luckily, I give credit to the folks here at the Ministry of Education. We have a blueprint on how we're going to work, and we have KPIs that are already developed on target that we need to meet. So now that's that. The new curriculum, NTA on new curriculum that were introduced, the National Education and Research Development Council has developed a new post-basic curriculum, which is being implemented, and I know they're working on the basic education curriculum. I know work is ongoing on the post-basic curriculum. We will look at it and make sure that this curriculum reflects the need of our time. And one more important thing that we will be focusing on, we'll be focusing on civic education. We will review our curriculum and see where civic education is. We created the linking of our young men and women to the country. When a lot of us were growing up, we were taught patriotism, things that matter in the country. They taught us hard work, they taught us moral value, ethics, education. We will ensure, we will also put a lot of emphasis now on civic education, where we will educate at the post-basic education level, basic education level to the post-basic education level. Civic education, where we will train our children patriotism, what it means to be a Nigerian. We want this negativity that our citizens have about the country to stop. You go to other developed countries in the world, you ask them about their country, they feel their country is the best in the world. That is how we want Nigerians to feel. And I know, and I'm talking to the nation, I know the psyche have been battered by leadership. But now we have renewed hope. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is true to the cause. He's truthful to Nigeria, and we have a leadership now that will take us to promised land. And we're already seeing the benefits. So, Nigerians, please trust this president. We are on the right path. The tunnel, there's light at the end of the tunnel, and the tunnel is very short. We're going to get there very quickly. The base is solid. Now, on the Nnamdi Azikiwe University, yes. University, our education system breeds our value, it breeds our freedom, and it sets us for the future. We want freedom in our universities, in our polytechnics. That's where freedom is being. Those are centers of that nourish freedom. When a democratic government, and this president is very democratic, university councils are created, but they are created to follow rules. There are set rules that have been created. Nobody will be allowed to make its own rules. The government, the rule of the law is bigger than every one of us. What is happening in Nnamdi Azikiwe University will be reversed based on the consistency of our law. I can promise you that. Nobody, no council chairman is above the law, and we will not allow that to happen. Universities are center where we push for freedom. University councils are meant to work closely with the Senate of the university, but there are rules that are already established by the National University Commission. No chairman of any council will make his rule. Any anomaly that has happened, we will study it. Any anomaly that has happened will be reversed. The will of the country is bigger than anybody. So, thank you. I'll take the next set of questions. Excellent question. Let me reassure Nigerians. We have a credible president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. When he makes his promises, he fulfills those promises. We're seeing that now. ASU, NASU, SANU, COHESU, and other trade unions. I know you've had promises given by previous governments, and those promises were not met. Yeah, it's natural for you to be distrustful of the government. But I can assure you today, we have a government led by our president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, that will make all these commitments. The commitment that this government has made to you, we will meet those commitments. I know your psyche is battered, but please give us, as a government, the benefit of the doubt. My door and the Minister of State of Education door will be open. We would work with you based on mutual trust and respect. We will create a new environment. We want to put a permanent stop to our kids being at home when they should be educated. We'll have a very good working relation with ASU. And let me also tell you how we're going to improve that. We will support robust research in our university, in our tertiary institution. We're working on finalizing a FEC bill on National Research Development Fund that will unleash to our federal tertiary institution to have research funding. We'll also create opportunities for honorarium royalties for our lecturers at the universities, polytechnics, and monotechnics, and colleges of education to benefit from consultancy work. We are going to be mandating several other parastatals in the Ministry of Education to engage our lecturers in their consultancy work, because these are experts, field of experts in engineering, medicine, technology, social sciences, to do this work. We have to create opportunity for them. So ASUP, COHESU, SANU, NASU, it's a new day. We will work collaboratively with you.
Audio Jungle.